Back in 2005, comic book movies were a wild experiment. Some soared with flashy moves, others brooded in the shadows, all vying for a foothold on the big screen. Enter Constantine, a rogue outsider swaggering in with a cigarette dangling and a cross raised, ready to shake up the party. Keanu Reeves stepped into the fray, channeling a character from DC's Hellblazer, guided by a music video maestro taking his first crack at a feature film. It hit theatres in mid-February, a sleepy season for cinema, and carved out a legacy that's still flickering 2 decades later, especially with whispers of a sequel heating up as of March 2025. This isn't a quick nostalgia hit, it's a deep excavation of what fueled it, from its inception to its afterlife. So does it honour its comic origins, or trade them for a Hollywood sheen? Let's peel back the layers and see. Crafting Constantine was a high-stakes gamble. Born in the late 90s, when producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura spotted a craving for something bleaker than the spandex-clad pack. Years before moody superheroes became the norm, early buzz had Nicolas Cage in the lead. Imagine him cackling through an exorcism. Until Keanu Reeves, still buzzing from The Matrix and hungry for a raw role, nabbed it. Francis Lawrence, a pop video pro with no feature experience, took the reins, steering a script by Kevin Broadbent and Frank Capello that ditched Liverpool's soggy streets for LA's weathered gleam, a choice that still stings Hellblazer devotees. Warner Brothers aimed for an R-rated edge, bold yet accessible, dialing back gorier drafts to land in a sweet spot for mature teens and adults alike. Filming sprawled across LA's industrial underbelly, with massive warehouses morphed into jagged, steel-ribbed purgatories. Art director Naomi Chauhan drew from 40s atomic test footage, dressing sets with charred dirt and flickering neon to evoke a blasted cityscape, while effects crews piled on digital haze for an otherworldly choke. Practical demon puppets wired with hydraulics oozing slime lunged at Keanu in tight shots, inflating the budget from 70 million to 100 million as CGI and creature work piled up. Real props like the Spear of Destiny and Holy Shotgun added heft. Keanu, smitten with the latter, handed it to Lawrence as a wrap gift. Core is Constantine's restless heartbeat, a snarling clash of grinding metal and eerie wails that would choke any heroic anthem. It conjures a city fraying at the seams, with Weisz stomping like a relentless tread. 13 beats too many, echoing John's chain smoking. When the underworld breaches, the rhythm warps into slow, molten cries, a choir lost in the furnace, syncing with the film's creeping dread. Meet John Constantine slinks in with a piano so bare it's a ghost, mirroring his hollowed-out shell, while destiny explodes like an apocalyptic toll, brassy chaos and snarling strings tied to cryptic symbols. It's not here to comfort, it's a smack in the face, amplifying the occult tension without a whiff of softness, tailor-made for a story that spits rather than sings. Constantine drops us into an LA where heaven and hell lock eyes across a shaky truce, a jaded fixer with wrecked lungs and a cursed soul from a teenage self-deletion attempt. Enter Angela Dodson, Rachel Weisz, a cop probing her twin Isabel's fatal fall from a psych ward, ruled a suicide but reeking of something fouler. The chaos ignites when a Mexican worker unearths the Spear of Destiny, unleashing demons like a busted dam. Mammon, Satan's ambitious spawn, aims to seize Earth, countered by John's crew, Chaz Kramer, Shia LaBeouf, and Papa Midnight, Djimon Hounsou, a voodoo arbiter running a neutral dive. The hunt cuts through LA's grungy corners, dingy bowling alleys, an office building teeming with hellspawn, and dips into a cracked highway abyss, a warped mirror of a nuked metropolis. The pace snaps from eerie stillness to shotgun blasts, peaking when John slits his wrist to lure Lucifer, Peter Stormare, into thwarting Mammon, and curing John's cancer as a final cruel jest. It's a lean, brutal plunge, trimming the comic's sprawling rebellion for a focused sting. Some fans miss the wider scope, but it lands as a standalone punch, no prior lore needed, though its relic riddles keep it cryptic. Keanu Reeves anchors John Constantine with a slow burn intensity that smoulders through every frame. 13 cigarettes smoked on screen, his lungs wheezing like a death knell, a stark departure from the comic blonde's bisexual Liverpudlian chatterbox. He immersed himself in the role, poring over real exorcism recordings, chain-smoking on set, and brushing off studio nudges for a warmer persona. His clean-shaven look and nod to Augustus over bearded trends pairs with a laconic growl, turning pauses into a language of their own. It's a hypnotic pull that makes you forget the source material's quippy edge. He's no faceless icon here, just Keanu unfiltered, carrying the film's weight with a stare that could bore through steel.
Sure about this?
No.
Hi. My name's John. You are in violation of the balance. Leave immediately, or I will deport you.
Rachel Weisz's Angela Dodson is a firecracker wrapped in resolve, a cop who'd slug a fiend and still whisper a prayer. A twin's death a raw wound, she plays with steel and vulnerability. She lobbied hard for the role's edge, digging into Angela's grief and defiance. And her firing 30 shots from a 13-round Smith & Wesson, a hilarious continuity flub, only adds to her chaotic spark. Weisz brings a grounded ferocity, her chemistry with Reeves, a taut wire that hums. She's the heart pumping life into the film's dour pulse, perfect foil to John's detachment.
So do I have to take the rest of my clothes off, or can I leave them on? John?
I'm thinking.
Tilda Swinton's Gabriel is a celestial wildcard, sharp as a shard of glass, androgynous as sin itself, her presence slicing through the screen like a cold wind. She improvised the line,
You're fucked.
a holy gut punch that lands like scripture, and her wings, torched with real feathers and flammable gel, amplify her otherworldly menace. Swinton leaned into Gabriel's disdain with a minimalist flair. She steals every frame she's in, a divine storm in human form.
Precious gift, right? Each one of you granted redemption from the Creator. In all the worlds, in all the universe, no other creature can make such a boast, save man.
Peter Stormare's Lucifer is a greasy, gleeful terror, tar dripping from bare feet via prosthetics, his white suit pristine as he slinks into the climax like a cat with a half-dead squirrel. Trust me on that one. He pitched the role as a punk rock devil, ad-libbing lines with a sing-song menace that turns Satan into a petty showman. His physicality, those oozing feet, that sly grin, came from hours with makeup crews, ensuring every step felt like a violation. Stormare's Lucifer isn't just evil, he's a delight, chewing scenery with relish and making John's defiance taste sweeter.
You're the one soul I would come up here to collect myself.
You will live, John Constantine.
Shia LaBeouf's Chaz Kramer is a scrappy sparkplug. Not yet the Indy Jones kid, bringing a youthful jolt as John's cabbie sidekick. Expanded from comic crumbs, he's killed off, but resurfaces post-credits as an angel, a twist LaBeouf fought to flesh out with earnest prep, lugging a Bible on set for authenticity. His wide-eyed energy clashes with Keanu's stoicism, a dynamic that pops. Djimon Hounsou's Papa Midnight is a cool-headed titan. His neutral bar, a sanctuary amid the war. Hounsou infused him with a quiet gravitas, drawing on voodoo myths to ground the role, his presence an anchor in the storm. This ensemble is a live wire, Keanu's brooding calm, Rachel's wounded fire, Tilda's icy wrath, Peter's oily glee, Shia's brash youth, Djimon's still strength, each a distinct jolt in a volatile mix. Constantine isn't just a demon-bashing romp. It's a jagged plunge into faith's cost, redemption's gamble, and the blurry divide between saint and sinner, all simmering beneath the surface of its action. Los Angeles is a neon-lit no-man's land, a cosmic prize where heaven and hell barter souls like cheap tokens, and John Constantine stands as the battered middleman, cynical to the bone, damned for a teenage self-delete attempt that left his soul forfeit. He spent years stacking demon kills like poker chips, hoping to buy his way out of the pit, but he scoffed at God's mercy, haunted by faint pagan traces like Sol Invictus coins that hint at older, murkier beliefs. His sacrificial climax isn't just some noble sacrifice. It's a calculated middle finger, a bet that Lucifer's vanity will squash Mammon's scheme. It works. Satan heals his cancer with a smirk, dangling salvation as a taunt, leaving John and us to wonder, is it grace or just a cosmic timeout? That ambiguity is the film's sharpest hook, a question mark etched in blood. Angela Dodson is his counterweight, a cop who'd walked away from religion, numbed by life's grind, until Isabel's death cracks her open. She doesn't fall into pious mush, instead she claws toward faith with a quiet, stubborn spark, choosing belief over despair as a lifeline rather than a sermon. Her journey's subtle but potent. She's not saving the world, just her own soul. And Weisz plays it with a restraint that keeps it real. Gabriel flips the coin, an angel sick of humanity's shortcuts, their whining pleas for forgiveness grating on divine ears. Their rebellion isn't holy zeal, but a bitter tantrum, burning human hope with real feathers and a snarl. It's a mirror to John's own defiance, just cloaked in celestial smugness. Swinton's Gabriel isn't evil, they're a disillusioned idealist, making their fall somehow hit harder. Lucifer's the wild card, a devil less interested in conquest than in needling John. His chaos a stylish fit rather than a master plan, tar dripping from bare feet like a signature. Stormare's take revels in petty spite, turning Satan into a game show host with a grudge. He doesn't want Earth, he wants John squirming. And that smallness makes him oddly human. The film weaves these threads, John's reluctant grind, Angela's fragile hope, Gabriel's contempt, Lucifer's taunts, into a tapestry of a city that's both trophy and trap. It's not preachy, it strikes a match and lets the questions blaze. Is redemption earned or gamed? Does faith hold up when the rules are rigged? The answers stay murky, and the film's so hooked on its momentum it sometimes rushes past the slow burn, but the embers linger, daring you to poke them. Constantine clawed 230 million from a 100 million pot, 130 million profit before marketing. Not a titan, but a scrappy contender in 2005's superhero slugfest. Critics shrugged with a 46% Rotten Tomatoes score, irked by its Hellblazer tweaks. Yet, fans built a shrine. Alan Moore predictably disowned it, Keanu called it a keeper, his quiet hype a spark that never faded, and by March 2025, Constantine 2 is no pipe dream, it's gaining traction. Producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura locked the script in late 2024. Its DNA also lingers, its noir bite echoes. That Chaz Angel twist still stirs fan chatter, slotting between Matrix Zen and Wick Wrath. It's a hinge proving gravitas trumps glitz. With a sequel on deck, it's poised to crawl from the shadows. So does Constantine proudly wear its Hellblazer comic roots, or merely borrow the trench coat for a Hollywood parade? It's a blend of both, and that mixes its power. The raw, rebellious spirit of Hellblazer, rough-edged and unrefined, receives a studio makeover. Keanu Reeves' understated intensity replaces the chatty sarcasm. LA's glossy decay overlays Liverpool's damp grime, and the sprawling lore condenses into a focused, ghostly narrative, cigarettes included. It doesn't capture the full chaotic scope of the source, but it's far from a shallow cash-in. It's a polished yet defiant creature that sidesteps the usual superhero tropes, rejecting Nicolas Cage's manic energy for Reeves' quiet bite. With Constantine 2 now in motion, script finalised, it's clear this isn't a fleeting exploit, but a fire that's keen to take hold, proving Hollywood can dance with the infernal and still bear a few authentic scars. In the end, it's a draw. Hellblazer's beating heart fused with a cinematic shimmer, rugged enough to earn a nod, sleek enough to turn a profit. And it's definitely a film I would recommend.